Hello, this is Jen Mitchell-Love from Solace Divorce Mediation. Today's live is focused on the fourth most common question that is searched when researching about divorce. So the first that I already shared about is the cost. What is the cost? The second was the time. The third was, what about the kids? Then I switched to the fifth. The fifth was, can I do it on my own? And the fourth is, what happens with our marital property? And the answer to that is, it depends. It depends what happens. It depends if you choose to litigate or mediate your divorce. So litigation is when you go to court, you each have your own attorney, your attorneys fight and bill you in 6-minute increments, and then you have a judge decide what you're doing with your marital property. And in that scenario, you have zero to very little to zero control over what is going to happen with your marital property. What that means, what's going to happen with your house, what's going to happen with your retirement accounts, what's going to happen with your banking accounts, what's going to happen with your cars, what's going to happen with, say, your art collection. You know, if you are in court, then you have zero control over what's going to happen. The judge is going to decide all of that for you, and your attorneys that are billing in 6-minute increments, looking out for your best interest and your best interest only, as if you were an island of one. They are going to, be advocating as your zealous advocate, meaning they're looking out for your best interest only. They don't care if you are in a forever co-parenting relationship. They can't care if you have kids. And if there's, in the courtroom, all the battles are causing issues with your children or with your family. They can't care about that, because it's not because they're jerks. Well, I can't speak for all of them, but I can share that it is an ethical obligation, meaning in the practice of law, they could be disbarred, meaning they can't practice anymore, if they are not acting in the capacity of zealous advocate for you. So that's what happens to marital property in court. I guess I could share too, because I was a litigation attorney for the first 9 years of my career, that, what happens with your marital property in court is you're going to go through it one thing at a time, which is why it takes so long. Your attorney is going to file a motion for the retirement accounts or a motion for the house or whatever it might be. One after another, it's going to take a really, really long time, and the judge will rule separately on everything. Now, it depends in mediation. What does that mean for your marital property? It means if you and your spouse decide to utilize mediation to go through your divorce, which means the two of you are having all of the conversations you need to have. You are being guided by a neutral mediator, which is the role that I play at Solace. Even though I'm still a licensed attorney in the space of Solace, I am a mediator, which means I can work with both people, and it means I'm a neutral. So just like I shared in court, the difference if I was wearing an attorney hat is I would have to be a zealous advocate for my client. As a mediator, I'm not a zealous advocate. I'm not advocating for one person or the other who's going through a divorce. I'm here to help guide them through the journey, make sure they have all of the conversations that they need to have. And when it comes to marital property, in the fourth question, most commonly searched question, what happens to the marital property? In mediation, nothing happens unless you both agree upon it. And so you have tremendous, tremendous power in that space to speak your truth of what you feel is fair and equitable, because that's the thing. That's the overarching guidance from the law, is fair and equitable in the vast majority of states. There are, I believe, 9 still that are 50-50 states when it comes to marital property. However, even if you're in a 50-50 state and you utilize mediation, you can come up with something that feels fair and equitable. And fair and equitable doesn't mean 50-50 all the time. Sometimes it does, sure, but not always. So to answer the question and why I said it depends, in the courtroom, what's going to happen with your marital property? you have no control. No control. And you're not going to have as much of it when you're done because you're going to have a lot of attorney fees. So some accounts somewhere are going to get lower from your very high attorney fees. In mediation, the two of you are in control and you have conversations. And how I shared in litigation, it was one thing at a time. And that's why cases would take so long, because we would the attorneys would file a motion and another motion, another motion, of course, billable hours going up and up and up. And in mediation, we're not doing it one thing at a time. In mediation, I always coach my clients, we're like up here in a bird's eye view, looking up here at everything and having bigger conversations. And it is so common. It is an absolute myth. People think that mediation is only for people who get along and have all their agreements made. That is not true. That is not true. It can be very contentious, but the beautiful part is you're having conversations. Instead of having your attorneys speak for you, doing all the talking for you, you're having conversations, which is amazing because you're adults and you can do that. And this is your marital property. So you're the best authorities to have these conversations, right? So in mediation, the two of you, one person's truth is usually here. The other person is here because they're two different people. There is no right, wrong, good or bad way to share what your truth is when it comes to what is fair and equitable. And in court, usually, that's how it plays out too. One person is here, the other person is here when it comes to truth or what their attorneys are advocating for them and arguing for them. And then a judge will pick one of them. Well, in mediation, we're not picking. I'm not a decision maker. We're not choosing one of your truths. We're listening to the truths. We're understanding the reason, the why behind the what. And then we're navigating this middle space, this like beautiful, juicy space of creation to come up with something that feels good to both of you. And that can enable you to shift out of the marriage container into a new relationship space without hating each other and without being resentful and angry and holding on to all of that heavy, gross energy that is not going to help you co-create your dream your dream life moving forward. So I'm sending you much love, and I hope for everyone out there who is thinking about divorce, I hope you take the time to really educate yourself, because I know it's scary and it's overwhelming and you may feel stressed, but I feel like all of those feelings are just passed down to you and shared with you in our human consciousness, because those are the feelings that have been associated with divorce for so many generations of time. But just because other people have felt that doesn't mean you have to feel that. It is not difficult. The legal process of divorce is very easy, I feel, when both people can come to the table and both people in the marriage can have conversations and be guided by a mediator who is an expert in the field. I've been a family law attorney for 20 years. I've guided over 500 couples through the divorce journey. And so I'm sharing this with you because you don't have to be scared, and you are supported and you are held and you are in this space for a reason. You will emerge from this divorce very different than the way you entered. You'll be a different version of self. You'll be stronger. You'll be more connected with yourself. You're going to know yourself better, who you are, what you want. And check out solaceuniversity.com. Check out solacedivorce.com. I have so many resources for you that you can tap into to help you really, really maximize the growth that you can receive from this space. So I'm here for you. I love you. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Mwah.